What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's DripGodDero, and I'm back at you guys with another banger. So in today's video, we will be doing episode 8 of Start, Bench, Cut. Now, in today's episode, we will be starting, benching, and cutting 3 different players. Those players consist of Russell Westbrook, Lowry, and Mike Conley. Now, the reason I chose these 3 different players is because they are all point guards, and they're all point guards that are aging. Now, I was thinking about using Chris Paul, but I felt like that would be too easy because he actually was in the All-Star game last year. Now, this start bench cut will be based on their stats from the 2021-2022 season because we just started our 2022-2023 season, and we don't really have that many stats. At most, we only have the stats for these players for at least 3 games. So we got to use the 2021-2022 stats. But with all that explanation, let me move forward with the video and just explain how I actually categorize and how I actually proceed with the starting, the benching, and the cutting of these players. So I use 3 different categories. The first category is the stats, because the stats tell you how efficient a player is. The second category is the eye test. It shows you how a player makes their money. Do they go through a lot of pick and rolls? Are they more of a catch and shoot style of player? It helps you understand that. And last but not least is context. Context could be how successful a player has been in their career. How much of an impact that player has on his team. Things of that nature. But with all that being said, let's get to the first category, which is the stats. Alright, so first up we have my boy Russell Westbrook. In the 2021-2022 season, he averaged 18.5 points per game, 7.4 rebounds per game, and 7.1 assists per game. Now, he shot 44.4% from the field goal, and he shot 29.8% from the 3-point line. So he had a kinda inefficient season, but let's move on to the next player. Alright, so next up is Lowry. In the 2021-2022 season, he averaged 13.4 points per game, 7.5 assists per game, and 4.5 rebounds per game. And he played actually 63 games, so he was less healthy than Russell Westbrook. And let's look at his shooting split. So his field goal percentage was 44%. That's actually around the same percentage that Russ had, and his 3-point percentage is 37.7%, and he shot 6.1 threes. So that's Lowry's stats. Last but not least, let's talk about Mike Conley. Mike Conley averaged 13.7 points per game, 5.3 assists per game, and 3 rebounds per game in the 2021-2022 season. Now, he actually played 72 games, so he was pretty healthy, if I do say so myself. He was definitely pretty healthy, and his field goal percentage was 43.5%. His 3-point percentage was 40.8%, which is very high. That's very efficient. And his free throw percentage was actually 79.6%. Alright, so I'm gonna put the stats right here, and y'all tell me who y'all think won the stats category. But with all that, let's take a look at the eye test. Alright, so we are about to perform the eye test, but I did just want to add some context. Now, usually I try to use my boy Maximilian711 for the different eye tests so we can have some cohesion in the eye test. But unfortunately, when it comes to Mike Conley and Lowry highlights, these streets is dry as hell. So I will only use Maximilian for Russ's highlights, but for Lowry and Mike Conley, it is a different person for these highlights. It is ZH highlights, and we are only using actually just 1 game. They didn't really have, like I said, the streets is dry. They didn't really have too many highlights for the full season for Mike Conley or Lowry. But with all that being said, man, let's take a look at these highlights. Let's take a look at Russ highlights. Y'all already know I only watch around 2 to 3 minutes of the video. If you want to watch the full video, take a look at Maximilian711's channel and subscribe to him. You see that? It says subscribed, right? Y'all do that for him and y'all do that for me. Come on, man. Let's get it.
Want to make sure they're right and have the right rhythm for when the season starts.
Westbrook. There's a turnover. Westbrook. Nice pass to LeBron. 4-2. Hustle there by Lee. Beautiful lead pass by Westbrook.
Nice pass. Oh, the steal though. And the dunk. Let's go.
Now you really get to experience it, you know. Now that we're
nice pass.
It's Westbrook who averaged a triple-double a season ago. Inside he goes, passing his way for 2.
They brought in the 57 All-Star selections, most of any team.
Oh, nice pass. Good hustle, boy.
Westbrook comes up with it, and there's Jordan for the dunk. Westbrook. Plenty of time, 10 on the shot clock. Westbrook.
The 3 though? Oh. No, I gotta pause it for that move right there. That was a nice move. He cut in between the little double team that they had, and then just smashed it on him. Just smashed it on him. I had to pause it. But let's continue. Tough layup.
The offense, trying to sidestep JRE, who blocked the shot initially. Westbrook stays.
Woo! Hey, that was nice, boy. That was nice. That was a super nice pass, bro. Let me continue.
Setting up a little bivouac, and he's enjoying shooting. Now here is Westbrook.
Good shit.
Biggest lead of the game. Westbrook has 7 points, 3 rebounds. Looking for more. Needing some help. They find. Oh, throw it down with one hand. I'm alive.
DeAndre Jordan, though? I had to pause it. DeAndre Jordan? Really? Damn. But hey, let me just say my thoughts when it comes to Russ. Now, we all know that Russ, he struggles from the 3, and that's not really his game. Let's just keep it real. But besides that, there are some things that he do provide that's pretty good, and I'd say that the number one thing is his passing. People underrate him as a passer. He's definitely a great passer, and we've seen that from his highlights. Now, like I said, he is somewhat inefficient, but I definitely feel like out of the players on this list, he may have the most athleticism, even at this point. And we all know he is losing his athleticism as we speak, but even at this point in his career, I do feel like he's still the most athletic when it comes to the players in this video today. But yeah, if I do want to highlight anything, I definitely just highlight Russ's passing. But let's keep it moving. All right, so we are taking a look at Kyle Lowry's highlights. It says that he scored 18 points per game, 4 threes, 10 assists, and it was versus the Celtics in the playoffs in Game 6. So let's take a look at this. Man.
Pushing the pace. Has not been able to do it the last couple of games. Gets it
nice pass.
An easy layup.
That's the second cut by Butler into the paint.
Adebayo had his best game in Game 3. It was Lowry. Nails a three-pointer.
That's bad defense. You got to step up, bro. You got to step up. We seen the stats, bro, shooting like 37%. You got to step up, bro. You got to step up.
That's got to feel good for Lowry, who was scoreless in Game 5. Just perfectly timed. As Lowry trying to draw a foul, goes inside and gets to.
I gotta pause it, bro. If that wasn't the slowest drive I've ever seen, bruh. Do we gotta like, bruh? That I'm not trying to be funny, y'all, but that drive was so slow, bruh. I gotta rewind that. Like, bruh, that was so slow. Look at this, y'all. Am I tripping?
Just perfectly timed. As Lowry trying to draw a foul,
Dude!
inside and gets to the basket. And Ime Udoka not happy at all.
Let's continue, man.
Gets the pass inside of Williams.
Good defense. Damn.
And a loose ball foul is going to go.
Good defense, good strip, boy.
Makes his move. Stops a couple of fakes. Back out to Butler. Butler will try a three-pointer. It's good. Jimmy Butler 3 for 3 from the field. You let the crowd complain. They're more than happy to take up that task.
And his girl, too.
Kyle Lowry downtown. And the lead back up to 7 for Miami.
I'd allow him to catch the basketball in his sweet spot.
Plenty of time to catch and shoot. Strus launches a 3. Oh, he knocks it down. Smart, long 3. Strus releases down the other end, lays it up and
Nice
in.
pass.
Outstanding job of tell me to change my shirt.
Lowry on the drive. Oladipo floats it up and in.
All right, we go pause right there. I'm not trying to use this dude's full video, but my thoughts on Kyle Lowry. I feel like the most underrated thing when it comes to him is his defense. Ironically, it's his defense. Now, the reason I say that is because as we've seen in these highlights, bro was able to get a good strip. He knows how to take charges. He's just a very intelligent player all around, man. He has a very high basketball IQ. Now, he can definitely shoot that 3. As we seen in the stats, 37.7%. That's great efficiency from the 3. And yeah, he could do it all though. But one thing I did just want to note is that bro is starting to lose his first step. He's really starting to lose it. Y'all seen these drives. I know I wasn't tripping. Bro is definitely starting to lose his first step and that athleticism. Now, I know he wasn't always, well, I know he hasn't been an athletic player most of his career, but I do feel like he's had a decent first step, and yeah, he definitely losing that. But let's continue. Let's move on to our final player. All right, so we got Mike Conley up. It says he scored 26 points, 5 threes, 8 assists against the Warriors. So this should definitely be interesting because the Warriors are a damn good defensive team. But let's watch them. Let's see what's going on.
Threes with Andrew Wiggins chasing guys around. There's a lot to happen in this game. Some big-time matchups tonight. Pick-and-roll defense is going to be so important.
Conley hiding behind Gobert. Looney with a good switch. Gobert was fouled.
Now, I'm going to pause it right now and just admire how Mike Conley orchestrated that pick and roll. He didn't do anything that was wild or try to force up any shots. He just got what the defense gave him. Did a nice little shovel pass like he bowling, like he bowling, you know, and got it to Gobert, and it was an easy shot. So I definitely want to pause that. But that was a nice, you know, just pass in general from my boy Mike Conley. But let's continue.
As he dunked it, interesting. The contact came and then he went up and hammered it. That's what happens when you switch though.
Bogdanovich. Clever Conley, all those great years in Memphis.
Oh.
Behind Gobert, and it's a 3.
Shot clock hits 27. Pardon me, game clock 27. 7 to get a shot away for Utah. Top and go drive. Conley dish it, put it up. One bouncing down for Juancho Hernan-Gomez.
Clark said it with a show and go. And he
Oh. Damn, man, bro got caught up on the rim. That's tough. The 3, 40% from there, 40%.
Love to get something going to the basket with the Kuminga or someone else and get to the free throw line if you can. Gobert, very deep position. It's over when he catches it there.
They're doing whatever they want offensively.
Iguodala playing solid deep. Shot clock at 4. Conley hides behind the stifle.
40%.
3. They're in rhythm now.
Tough.
So many quality teams in the Western Conference.
Depends on which night you get them. And Donovan Mitchell has 17 in the.
And a frustration foul there, tying up Gobert.
Wiggins has 3 fouls. Draymond has 3.
All right, so we go pause right there. Now, my takeaway from these highlights is that if take what the defense gives you was a person, that would be Mike Conley. Now, just looking at these highlights, I didn't really see Mike Conley force any shots, take any bad shots with smothered defense on him, or anything like that. He just took what the defense gave him. If they were playing the pick and roll pretty hard, he just find that open person, or he find Rudy Gobert once Rudy Gobert established himself right under that rim for a high percentage shot. Like, if take what the defense gives you was a person, that's definitely Mike Conley. But with all that being said, let's move on to the context aspect of this video. All right, so now let's get to the context aspect of this video. So Russell Westbrook, let's talk about his context. So by far individually, Russell Westbrook has been the most successful. As we know, he is a former MVP. As we know, his stats are crazy. There are some 2K NBA My Player stats. Let's keep it real. But at the same time, even with those stats, something that we have noticed is that when he has great teammates, he always seems to come up short. And speaking of teammates and just teams in general, we can definitely argue that Russell Westbrook over his career has had some of the best teams. I'm gonna say it again, some of the best teams that any NBA star could have. Facts. Let's think about all of the Hall of Fame NBA players this man has played with. And they've never really went too far. The closest he got to was the NBA Finals, and even then, he came up short with Kevin Durant, man. So we definitely got to add that context. Some more context is that, me personally, I feel like Russell Westbrook may be the worst defensive player on this list. He definitely may be the worst defensive player on this list, and he definitely is the most inefficient player on this list, especially when it comes to the three-point shot. So we do gotta include that. Let's move on to Kyle Lowry when it comes to the context. All right, so Kyle Lowry, we can definitely say when it comes to team success, he's definitely one of those players you want on your team. He is an NBA champion, and he was a pivotal part of that NBA champion. We know that he's pretty solid defensively. We done seen him, hold his own against bigger players, and that's something that is, very noteworthy when it comes to a player that's only like 6'1", 6'2". We gotta take that into account. He is a great passer and doesn't turn over the ball too much. He averages 7.5 assists and only around 2.7 turnovers. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good assist to turnover ratio. Let's keep it real. We gotta note that. And the only thing that I would say is that bro has started to get injury prone in a sense. I'm gonna say it again. He has started to get injury prone in a sense. So that's something that I would look out for. But let's move on to Mike Conley. All right, so the context when it comes to Mike Conley. Mike Conley has definitely had the least impact when it comes to the teams that he has been on. Let's keep it real, man. Let's just keep it a buck. He hasn't really had any of the accolades that players like Kyle Lowry or Russell Westbrook have had. We got to keep it a buck. He hasn't really had that many accolades. And with that being said, it's like, is he really just that good of a player? Or are people sleeping on him? It really gives you food for thought. Is this man just really underrated, or is it just that he's just not that good? Now me, I tend to look towards the slightly underrated aspect, but y'all tell me what y'all think. Defensively, he is pretty good defensively. I'd say him and Kyle Lowry are around on par, but I just feel like Kyle Lowry is slightly better just because he does better against bigger players. And with all that context being added, man, who would I start, who would I bench, who would I cut? Now this is definitely tough, but I would start Kyle Lowry. The reason I start Kyle Lowry is because I feel like he gives you good percentages when it comes to everything. Now, he gives you a lot of assists. 7.5 assists is pretty good. And he also gives you solid three-point shooting. He had 37% from three. Now, Russ, he gives you good assists too, rebounding and all that. But at the same time, the efficiency is when it comes to the three-point shot just isn't really there, you know? It just isn't really there. Same with Mike Conley. Yeah, Mike Conley, he has a 40% three-point percentage. But besides that, he's not giving you as many assists as Kyle Lowry. He is not, man. And just off track record, just off history, he's not as impactful as a player like Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is a champion. A champion, bro. Russ not that. Mike Conley not that. And I feel like that's definitely important. And if we want to really go on Russ, like I said before, Russ has had plenty of Hall of Fame players, bruh. Plenty. And it just ain't worked out, man. It just hasn't worked out. So, with that being said, I'm going to start Kyle Lowry. I'm going to bench Russell Westbrook. Now, I know I just said what I had to say about Russell Westbrook, but I definitely feel like he is more impactful than Mike Conley. Once again, he is more impactful than Kyle Lowry, especially if he's on a shit team. He could definitely pull that team to the playoffs. If he's on a good team, he might impact you negatively. But if he's on a bad team, he will impact you positively. So I definitely feel like just off that impact, regardless, I feel like I would take Russell Westbrook. I would cut Mike Conley. And it's not because he's a bad player or anything like that. He is a good player. But like I said, I just feel like he's not as impactful as Russell Westbrook or Kyle Lowry. He's just not impactful like those two players. Also, his resume doesn't stack up to those two players. So I do feel like I gotta add that context. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, like the fucking video, comment on the fucking video, subscribe to the fucking channel. Was I wrong or right on my star bench cut this time around? Y'all tell me in the comments down below. And I'm out. Peace.